So there's some stuff you can't go cheap on, like mattresses or shoes or Worcestershire. I'm gonna see if teeth is on that list. I was eating a hot tamale and broke off a chunk of molar, and I realized that it was a lot more serious than the hot tamale. I've always been very good at neglecting my teeth and eating lots of candy and Coke, occasionally smoking, so I knew this was going to be expensive. I got a quote from a local dentist for over $10,000 for 3 crowns, 4 fillings. They also said they would have to refer me out to a specialist to get my molar fixed because the cavity was so close to the root that they might not be able to save the tooth, is how they framed it to me. And then they also wanted to send me to a separate specialist to have my wisdom teeth removed. They also wanted me to split it up over several years so that I could use my dental insurance and it would actually be worth something. My dental insurance maxes out at $1,750 per year. That's just all they pay no matter what. And I had heard a lot of people talking about how much cheaper it was in other countries to pretty much do the exact same type work. From there, I found out that pretty much Thailand, South Korea, India, Mexico, they're all about the third of our dental cost procedures. I was originally looking at Thailand or South Korea, but the flights pointed me right back down to Mexico. I'm doing this for price. I called the dentistry place to get a quote. They sent me over their price list of exactly what everything cost and what I can expect to pay. I looked up a place to stay around the area, which would be $500 for a condo on the beach with a rooftop pool. So I knew it would be a lot cheaper than going through a dentist in the United States. My wife and daughter don't have a visa, so I was gonna do this trip alone. I knew it would take multiple visits since I had to get crowns. You have to get them fitted and then wait for them to make them. So I knew I would be down there for at least about a week. But even with the $500 on a hotel, the $800 in travel expenses, and the extra $500 I'd spend on food, I was still looking at saving several $1,000s. Whenever I contacted Smile and told them that I wanted to go ahead with the work, they said, well, we'll pick you up at the airport so you don't have to take an $80 taxi. I didn't realize it was an hour and a half drive from the airport. So that was nice. It was a little disheartening because when I got there, the instructions were, hey, just wait by this restaurant and look for someone with the name on their sign. And there's like 60 people with names on signs, and I had no idea who I was looking for. I was on their list, but not on the person's list who is out there, so it took a little bit of time to get a driver to me and get to my appointment. Once we got there, he was a little bit unsure of the location, as was I, since I was too, I'm not from that country. And we walked around for, 10 minutes. He called him and we finally found him. They told me that I would need 3 crowns and 4 fillings and possibly a root canal and a cleaning. And they gave me a quote of about $2,200 for all this. Originally, I was supposed to go back in Tuesday to have the crown work done and then back in Thursday to have the crowns put on. I went Tuesday to have the temporary crowns made and to get my teeth prepped and to do the molds for the crowns. But they said that instead of Thursday, that they would like me to come back Saturday first thing in the morning to get it done, which I hadn't booked a flight back yet, but that was a little frustrating just to deviate from the plan halfway in when I'm already there. But I agreed because it wasn't a big deal to me and I wasn't sure exactly how much it would take, so I hadn't booked a return flight. So from there, the driver took me to where he thought my hotel was, which there was another miscommunication there. And then I walked for, about a half mile to where my hotel actually was. I got it pretty much dead center. There's a circular statue square type thing that runs down 5th, which is pretty much like Tourist Avenue. I got an Airbnb, check-in was easy, you just punch in a code. It had a small kitchen, bedroom, and balcony, and that was about it. When I went in Tuesday and had the crowns made and everything like that, that's when they told me that I would be coming back Saturday instead of Thursday. So I scheduled my flight after that, and I talked to them, I think on Friday, just to kind of go back over everything. I thought that there would be time built in for a root canal with one of the teeth that I was having problems with. I guess they thought from the conversation that I might not necessarily need a root canal, but it had gotten, where it had hurt significantly and it hadn't really gone away. I wouldn't sleep on the side that the tooth was because of tooth pain. When I came in Saturday morning, they removed, the temporary crowns, and it just started hurting a whole lot worse. So when they put the new crowns on, I kind of said, hey, I'm pretty sure I need that root canal. Like, this hurts a lot. It's not getting any better. Like, I couldn't sleep on it, you know. And she said, well, you know, we did kind of talk about that. And you said the pain was bad, but it wasn't that bad, but you weren't really sure. I was like, yeah, I know. And I was a little bit wishy-washy. That's on my end. But I was pretty sure I needed it right then. And they said they could call in the root canal specialist and get it done, but he wasn't going to be able to be there for another hour or so. And they could either go through the top of the crown or take the crown off and then do it that way. This would push my time back further than my flight. I would have had to miss my flight if I got this root canal, which was now proving like a necessity. So I got frustrated and just thought about it in the chair for a second. She said, you know, let me know what you want to do. We're happy to help out wherever we can, which I thought was just kind of like we'll do whatever. And so I got a little frustrated and said, you know what, maybe I can just tough it out and wait till I get home. If it's still an issue when I get home, I'll do a root canal. But I can't just fly back here. The cost doesn't justify the gains. And she said, it looks like you're in a lot of pain, and I don't want you going out of this in a lot of pain. If we have to, we'll pay for your flight. It's not a big deal, but you need to get this root canal done. And that kind of took me back, because up until this point, it had all been just kind of transactional. And I think it was her genuinely saying, like, this is gonna suck if you don't get it done. You need to just do it. So they did the root canal. I called, I rebooked my flight, and then they ended up taking me back to the airport as well with my luggage and everything like that. When I paid for the bill, they had marked off the amount from the flight since they had made me kind of reschedule. So I thought that was more than fair, since I was a little bit wishy-washy, but I did also get moved around by them. It wasn't the original schedule. Additionally, they didn't have to. They took off the cost of the root canal too. So my cost for paying down there to the dentist was only $1,720, and that is not even what my insurance would pay if I had done it up here. So I was happy to get the work done. It did hurt. It's a root canal, but after 2 days now, I can say it feels pretty much like normal, and I don't think there'll be any issues with it. All in all, if I had to do it over again, I definitely would. They are reasonable whenever it comes to kind of adjusting and working with someone who's flown in from the country, and also dealing with their own clientele in a busy schedule. And I think that their willingness to help out with a mistake that was partially mine or partially theirs or partially both, that really set them apart. I don't think a dentist here would have done that. And so I definitely would recommend going again. They seemed more concerned about the outcome than kind of whatever else they could get out of me, like racking up, I don't know, $14,000 in dental charges through 3 different dentists. So total saved with cost, flights, and everything was about $3,000. And I definitely recommend to do it again. I'd give them a 5-star review. So if you get a crazy quote in the United States for like implants or veneers or crowns or anything like that, I would seriously look at getting the work done elsewhere. I'd recommend to do it again in a heartbeat.